product from the very beginning. Thank you. We've gone from talking about career pivots to product thinking, proof, side projects, burnouts, and boundaries. And today I want to wrap it all up with one message. You are the product. I don't mean that in the cliche, build your personal brand way. I mean it in the sense that everything you've built, learned, failed at, and refined, that is your resume. Not the one you attach to an email or upload to a portal, but the one that lives in your decisions, your proof, and your growth. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode. My name is Naya, your host as always, and today we're talking about You Are the Product, a new kind of resume. When I was laid off at my last job, 8 weeks postpartum, I did not think of myself as a product. I just thought of myself as someone who just needed another job. I spent weeks applying, scrolling, hoping something would click. And for a while, nothing did. But when I started documenting my journey, sharing what I was learning, starting becoming the product and showing up online, I realized I was building something I did not even have a name for yet. And that was proof. Because every story I shared, every framework I created, every lesson I learned, they all told the world how I think, what I value, and what I can build. And that became a resume no job portal could ever limit. There are a few points I would like to discuss with you today. The main point one is your proof is your portfolio. So here's the thing, the most powerful resume you would ever have is the proof you leave behind in the work that you do and how you talk about it. When I transitioned into product management, I did not have your typical PM resume. There was no certification and no fancy job title as at the beginning of my transition. But I had stories. I had a podcast that showed my curiosity. I had frameworks I had built for small projects. And I had a way of thinking that people could see before they ever saw my CV. And that is what proof does. It builds trust before credentials do. So if you're listening and wondering, do I have enough to show yet? You do. You just need to document it better. Point number 2, your process is your brand. For years, I thought branding was about the right colors or a polished website. But the more I worked with founders, the more I realized branding is really about consistency of experience. And the same applies to your career. How you communicate, how you handle feedback, how you manage projects, that is all branding. Every meeting where you clarify chaos, every sprint where you keep things moving, every late night note where you refine your process, you are building brand equity. When people think of you, they are not remembering your logo. They are remembering your proof of process. That is your resume. That is what sticks. Point number 3, your story is your strategy. Let's talk about storytelling because it is the bridge between your proof and your next opportunity. For a long time, I did not know how to tell my story without sounding like I was starting over. I was in banking and now I'm in tech. It always felt disconnected. But once I learned to connect the dots, the financial structure I learned in banking, the stakeholder communication, the project timelines, I started to see that I wasn't starting over. I was repackaging value. That is what storytelling does. It helps people understand how your old experiences fit into your context, your new context. And that is how you pivot with confidence. So if you're rewriting your resume, try this. Don't list job titles. List patterns of impact. Don't focus on tasks. focus on transformation. Show how your story connects, because that is what hiring managers, collaborators, and clients remember. You know, one of the favorite things about this podcast has been hearing how becoming the product has helped many of you reframe your journeys. And if there's one message I want you to take from this season, it's you're not behind, you're not too late, you're just in the middle of iteration. Every version of you has been necessary to build the one you are now. And that is the beauty of product thinking. You are always refining, never restarting. Your resume isn't a piece of paper, it's your proof in motion. So as we close out on this season of becoming the product, here is my final call to action. Audit your proof. Look at the projects, the posts, the messages, the lessons, even the failures, and see what they say about who you are and how you think. Then start sharing that story. Because the world needs to see your products, which is you. And if you've been with me throughout the first season, up until now, second season, third season, thank you. Until then, keep building, keep showing up, and keep becoming the product.